Hi, I'm Jen.
And I'm Greg.
And welcome to Flights or Growlers.
This week we're at the Epcot Festival of the Arts for 2022. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit like and the notification bell, and you'll be alerted when new videos are posted.
We really appreciate our subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Now, this is my favorite Epcot Festival of the year. It's a short one. It doesn't run very long, but I really do love all of the arts and everything that they present here at this festival. So I was very excited when it came back in full force this year.
This year, the festival runs from January 14th through February 21st. This is the 6th annual Festival of the Arts, started back in 2017. Festival of the Arts focuses on three main arts: culinary arts, performing arts, and visual arts. Some of the activities during the Festival of the Arts include Disney on Broadway concert series.
There won't be any obligations. Fathers to obey.
There's a giant paint by number. There's galleries where you can purchase Disney art. You can meet some of the artists and get their signatures. There's also photo ops throughout the World Showcase. One of the options is the Colorful Cuisine Food Stroll. It's a wonderful walk. You basically go around Epcot collecting special food and stamps in your festival passport. And at the end, you get a cookie. Also, Figment's Brush with the Masters is a scavenger hunt where you go around looking for different pictures of Figment throughout the World Showcase. We've done that in the past, and we enjoyed it. But our scavenger hunt today takes us to the 4 beer flights being offered at the Festival of the Arts.
It sure does, and boy, did we find them. And our reward was beer.
Beer.
Yep. So we're going to start off today at the Pastoral Palette in the Germany Pavilion. They have a play on rosé flight, which I thought sounded really interesting, and they were highlighting a lot of different Bavarian-inspired foods.
The Pastoral Palette at the Germany Pavilion has a play on rosé flight with Three Daughters Rosé Hard Cider, 81 Bay Rosé Blonde, and a frozen rosé of unknown origin.
Yeah, so a little out of our purview here, we're actually going to be tasting a wine instead of a beer. First up is the Three Daughters Rosé Hard Cider. This one was a really pretty color. It actually smelled like a rosé wine. It was bubbly, it was sweet, it had a nice rosé flavor with a little bit of apple sweetness coming through on the finish. It kind of tasted like one of those canned rosés that you would pick up at the liquor store. I really liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was refreshing and just all around a good cider. Next up is the 81 Bay Rosé Blonde. It was cloudy like a blonde. There was some soft grape and a little yeast on the nose. It tasted like bubble gum with a little sourness, and it was fruit forward. It was not my favorite of this selection.
Yeah, this one to me was not great. Would not like to try this again. If it's your thing, I hope you enjoy it, but oof, not for me. And then lastly, we had the frozen rosé of unknown origin. Assuming this is made in-house, who knows? I don't know. It smelled like a rosé. It was kind of watery, despite it being a really chilly day that day. It had a nice, pretty soft color. It was very, very, very
it was
sweet.
Like dessert.
Yeah, it was super, super sweet. So not up my alley, but again, if you're into a frozen rosé, this is certainly an option for you.
Jen, what was your favorite beer at the Pastoral Palette German Pavilion?
I really liked that Three Daughters Rosé Hard Cider the best. That is one of the 3 that I would actually probably order again if I was in a rosé kind of mood. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely the Three Daughters Rosé Hard Cider. I would get a full size and just walk around the festival drinking it.
Excellent. Sounds good.
Next up, we move to America, and we're at the artist table at the American Pavilion.
We started off our tasting there with the Lexington Brewing Company Mammoth White Ale. This has that coriander aroma, a little bit of yeast on the nose, and you get a citrus flavor that hits first on the tongue. It was malty, it wasn't super spice driven, and it had a slightly bitter finish. It was acidic, but also smooth and tasty. I kind of enjoyed it. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, it was a good white ale and was smooth on the palate. Liked it. Next up, we had the Copper Point Brewing Company Analoger Amber Ale. This had a malty nose, but I gotta say the whole area just kind of smelled like scallops, so it was kind of hard to pick through some of this stuff. I don't think the beer smelled like scallops, but...
No, they were serving scallops at this booth, and the odor permeated. Even though it's open air outside, it just smelled so much like the scallops, which to me was completely unappealing. I do not like that. Do not. So we actually did our video of the beer, and then we moved to the Japan Pavilion to drink it because we couldn't stay in the area. So if you have a sensitive nose and don't like scallops, just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, so this amber ale had a malty nose. Caramel hits first, but then kind of died off quickly on the palate, and it was not as hoppy as I expected it to be for the amber style. There wasn't much on the finish, and it just really didn't get there for us.
Yeah, I felt like this one was just okay. And then lastly, we had the MIA Beer Company Yacht Rock Brown Ale. Love the name. That really kind of appealed to us immediately. It had a nice malty nose. The flavor was solid with a full mouthfeel, caramel and malty flavors, a lingering finish. This was a really good brown ale.
Yeah, I agree. It was a solid brown from start to finish, and I really, really enjoyed this one, which is why it was my favorite of the beer flights at the America Pavilion. Jen, what was yours?
Yeah, definitely. The Yacht Rock Brown was my favorite. It was actually, like I said earlier, it was chilly that day, and this brown was a really nice pairing to the chilly weather. It just felt really comforting and good going down. It was very good. So after America, we made our way to the Morocco Pavilion, again at the Tangerine Cafe. They've been using this cafe for the festival booths now for the past several festivals since the restaurant that was there kind of went away. And we're glad that they did because they keep doing cider flights here, and I have consistently loved the cider flights that they're doing. So there at the Tangerine Cafe for the cider flight, they had the Swilled Dog Sangria Hard Cider, the Three Daughters Brewing Chai Hard Cider, and Blake's Hard Cider Company Barry Cranders Hard Cider.
We started with the Swilled Dog Sangria Hard Cider. It had a sweet apple nose and a strong sangria flavor. I mean, this was just missing the floating fruit. The apple does come through. It had a sour finish, and it was very tasty and refreshing. And Jen, I know you don't like things that taste like things. This tasted like sangria.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I actually really liked it. So this was an exception to my usual rule. This was really good. I really enjoyed it. Next up is the Three Daughters Brewing Chai Hard Cider. It had chai spice, of course, and a hint of apple aroma. The flavor was more like an apple pie than a chai, I guess. That's really what it was more reminiscent of for us. The chai spice did hit on the finish. It was sour on the finish and not super sweet, which is a good thing. It was good. It was just not what we expected. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. And like you said, I got more of that apple pie than chai, but I still really enjoyed this one. And finally, we have Blake's Hard Cider Company, Barry Cranders Hard Cider. Just for those following along at home, just please don't look up Cranders in the Urban Dictionary. We tried to figure out what that meant, and we're surprised. But anyways, the hard cider had a berry nose with hints of rosé. It was very white wine-like, with not really a strong berry flavor. It was more like ocean spray cran grape, which I know is cranberry, but still. It was sour with a sugary finish, not very enjoyable. What did you think, Jen?
Way too sweet for me. This is the first of the Blakes that we have tried at these festivals that I just flat out have not enjoyed. Everything else from Blake's I've actually really, really liked and has even been my favorite on several instances. So it's just something different, not for my particular palate. I'm sure there's people out there who love this, and if so, great. You can have my portions.
Yeah, so not your favorite, but which one was?
My favorite was the Swilled Dog Sangria Cider. What about you, Greg?
I really like the Three Daughters Chai Hard Cider. That was my favorite from this group.
Delicious.
Moving on to our last stop was the Deco Delights stand at the port of entry. and they had what they called a Neapolitan beer flight, featuring the Three Daughters Brewing Strawberry Blonde Nitro, 81 Bay Brewing Company Vanilla Porter, and Playa Linda Brewing Company Milk Stout.
First up, the Three Daughters Brewing Strawberry Blonde Nitro. This one smelled like strawberries. It was very fruit forward. I didn't get much blonde in the flavor at all. And the strawberry flavor was very artificial. It was almost like a Starburst candy. I was not a huge fan of this. I did not think it tasted good at all. What did you think, Greg?
I think if you like the pink Starburst, this beer's for you. Otherwise, maybe steer clear. Unless you want to get the Neapolitan beer flight.
Yeah, I don't even know. I like the pink Starburst, and I don't even know if I would recommend it for those people.
Gotcha. Next up was 81 Bay Brewing Vanilla Porter. There was vanilla and malt on the nose. It had a soft vanilla flavor, but not too overpowering or too sweet. The porter flavor came through nicely, and it was solid. We recommended it to some friends a couple nights later. That's how much we enjoyed this. What did you think, Jen?
Yeah, I really, really liked this. When our friends were asking, we were close to this particular booth, and they were asking which beer they should have. This was the first one that we immediately recommended. Lastly was the Playa Linda Brewing Company Milk Stout. This had a very sour, milky nose. It was definitely that lactic acid forward flavor. Very sour, very thin mouthfeel. I'm sorry, I just did not like this. It was watery, bland, and sour. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I think it was interesting. They were trying to go for that like Neapolitan, I guess, ice cream or other Neapolitan things with this grouping, but I don't think for me, the strawberry blonde and the milk stout just didn't land at all.
Yeah, so no surprise, the vanilla porter here was both of our favorites. Greg, what was your favorite overall?
So of the 4 flights we tried, my favorite beer of the festival was the MIA Yacht Rock Brown. It was just such a good brown beer. Like you said, I think that the name's super fun and really enjoyed it. Jen, what about you?
Yeah, absolutely 100% the same. In fact, we went back to see Kerry Butler perform at the Broadway stage, and we went back to the stinky American Pavilion and got a full size of this that we could enjoy while we watched her stellar performance that evening. Really would recommend this to anybody going to the festival.
Yeah, so that's it for 2022 Epcot Festival of the Arts.
Have you attended the Epcot Festival of the Arts this year? If so, let us know in the comments down below. What drinks or food was your favorite from the festival, or which drinks or food you're looking forward to if you're planning on going.
Or did you see any Broadway performers that you thought did a great job? Let us know.
Absolutely. For Flights or Growlers, this is Jen.
And this is Greg.
And we'll see you at the brewery.